no, oh, no, oh, no, oh. Niggas don't talk no more. Niggas don't walk no more. Niggas don't want no smoke. They saying my name, look in the mirror. Shout it 3 times and I might appear. These niggas is lame, die for the fame. Rerouted my ship like a buccaneer. I play my position, trust my intuition. Move when it's time like the minute hand. I'm snoozing the clock, I be tired, man. I run up the check like a Nike fan. I get it to go, I Uber my eats. Bread on the move, the debit truck. Say what you want, I'm making my plays. I'm deaf to the drama, I don't give a fuck. I blocked out the chatter, my pockets got fatter. I'm serving them up like a tennis ball. I'm close to the net, I can't hear it all. I'm killing them easily, fitting on. I carry my cannon cause niggas be plotting. Watching and planning, they wildin' out. You thinking it's sweet, get tricked off the streets. No pussy, they be only dialing out. The harder the head, the softer the air. Grandmama told you, go take a seat. I'm pinching my pennies, I wanted a bender. You rapping and broke, boy talking cheap. Speaking in riddles, your vocab is little. Passing out threats like a python. What you saying is cap, tag on your head. Shooting your code with a price gun. They claiming they grown, but ain't got their own. A clone with a phone, pocket down. In all of the movies, the villain gon' die. Him all alone, Joker smile. No, oh, no, oh, no, oh. Nigga don't talk no more. Niggas don't walk no more. Niggas don't joke no more. No, oh, no, oh, oh, no. Niggas don't talk no more. Niggas don't walk no more. Niggas don't want no smoke. No, oh, no, oh, no, oh. Niggas don't talk no more. Niggas don't walk no more. Niggas don't joke no more. No, oh, no, oh, no, oh. Niggas don't talk no more. Niggas don't walk no more. Niggas don't want no smoke.
His mama died, he apologized. He's not who, he's televised. I tell a lie, just a lie, a lie. His pants on fire, no lie, a lie. Fuck friends, fuck family. Fuck niggas, a lot of enemies. He go back and forth with the best of them. Straight drop, he tested them. All my niggas, they gang bang. If you don't see me with them, we insane gang. Number 1 rule, no hating, man. Niggas mad about donations, man. No, 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 no. JJ ain't pull up yet. Nike on my feet, he ain't got no check. Pussy ass niggas still living no smoke.
Don't want no more. Certified student, grip the Mac like a pro. Posted up, pocket full of dimes at the store. Mr. Double Up, got nothing for the low. Close out, sell, everything gotta go. Yes, sir, everything gotta go. I used to be cool with a nigga from the South, but he always run his mouth packing just like a hoe. Now what, bitch? Put it all on the floor. Better watch your mouth, cause he know you a hoe. Dressing all black, 3 killers at the door. Make a ghost at the mob, bitch, I really want to smoke. Now what, nigga? You a pussy, you a joke. Sending 4 shots like a nigga ripping coke. Dressing all black, 3 killers at the door. Make a ghost at the mob, bitch, I really want to smoke.
No, oh, no, oh, no, oh. Nigga don't talk no more. Nigga don't walk no more. Niggas don't joke no more. No, oh, no, oh, oh, no. Niggas don't talk no more. Niggas don't walk no more. Niggas don't want no smoke. No, oh, no, oh, no, oh. Niggas don't talk no more. Niggas don't walk no more. Niggas don't joke no more. No, oh, no, oh, no, oh. Niggas don't talk no more. Niggas don't walk no more. Niggas don't want no smoke.
It's 2:32 in the morning. We in the booth high in the motherfucker. State gang, the mob. True sippers. We in too deep. It's a lot of motherfucking hating going on, but that ain't shit, man. The money still coming, these niggas still hate, these bitches still choosing. I'm in the streets daily, hopping out fresh courtesy of the yayo. Got a knot in my pocket, same side as potatoes. The money still coming, these niggas still hate, these bitches still choosing. I'm in the streets daily, hopping out fresh courtesy of the yayo. Got a knot in my pocket, same side as potatoes. Money gotta shine, so money gotta bubble. You say you icy, but your diamonds looking super cluttered. I look like a star, call me the Big Dipper. I keep a pocket full of faces, paper ain't an issue. Shawty jockin' say look like I'm signed to Def Jam. I'm independent, baby girl, I'm just going ham. She say she love my diamond, she wanna wear my jewelry. I'm a lottery big bitch, call me Stephen Curry. Club pitch black dog, but my chest glowing. I'm kinda cocky, talking shit like I'm Terrell Owens. A Mary Jean, Jordan 12 and a white tee. Look like I'm shooting a movie every day. Call me
The money
Spike Lee.
still coming. These niggas still hate. These bitches still choosing. I'm in the streets daily. Hopping out fresh courtesy of the yayo. Got a knot in my pocket. Same side and potatoes. The money still coming. These niggas still hate. These bitches still choosing. I'm in the streets daily. Hopping out fresh courtesy of the yayo. Got a knot in my pocket. Same side and potatoes.
I'm with a white bitch, same color in my kicks. If you got your money right, you get them all white bricks. You can tell a nigga shining, take a look at my wrist. Got them all red diamond like your girl lipstick. I got these hoes sick, I got these hater mad. I'm popping rose bottle, I'm rocking Gucci tag. Got a stupid crazy swag, nothing like you wanna be. Some Texas, they Brazil, 2 for 20 up in Applebee's. I look just like a masterpiece. You should hang me on the wall when she wants some dope dick. I'm the one your bitch can call, getting money all year. Winter, summer, spring, and fall. Nickname, shout it low. Nigga, I done it all. State gang.
The money still coming. These niggas still hate. These bitches still choosing. I'm in the streets daily. Hopping out fresh courtesy of the yayo. Got a knot in my pocket. Same side and potatoes. The money still coming. These niggas still hate. These bitches still choosing. I'm in the streets daily. Hopping out fresh courtesy of the yayo. Got a knot in my pocket. Same side and potatoes.
Whole team shining, we stars, big dipping. Get a lot of haystack gang in the sip. Niggas ain't real, nigga. You gotta feel me, nigga. Smile in my face behind my back, you tryna kill me, nigga. You say you got beef, then what you wanna do? You screaming, fuck me, nah, nigga, fuck you. You ain't hard at me. Couple kick dough, couple robbery. Nigga get extorted, get aborted, he don't pay the fee. Posted in the north, got the 2 to 4 recipe. I be cooking chicken bit, not talking rotisserie. I got all my hater mad, I know that they sick of me. Who the fuck he think he is, motherfucker MB3? I honestly pay him no attention. They up under me. Haters call me Visa cause I'm everywhere they wanna be. Ladies, man, catch me with more honeys than a bumblebee. Say she got a husband, but she always wanna suck the D. State gang, true sipper, who these niggas wanna be? I've been getting money since a younger. I've been pushing peace, stay strapped. Gotta watch your back when you're in the streets. Friends turn to foes, never know who your enemy. I was in Detroit, he ain't keep the same energy. West side down the slide, I don't think he feeling me. I was on some demon time, nigga talking about killing me. They no business, let's see all that shit that you gon' do to me. Come outside, why you scared? I thought that you been a G. We don't bluff, we pulling up, we different down in Tennessee. Riding through the city, I'm with it, I got my 9 o'clock. If it really fitted, let's get it, I got the game locked. Green and white square, been serving them on the same block. Dime piece with me, she foreign, she come from Bangkok. Riding through the city, I'm with it, I got my 9 o'clock. If it really fitted, let's get it, I got the game locked. Green and white square, been serving them on the same block. Dime piece with me, she foreign, she come from Bangkok. I got an old school bitch, call her Aretha. Shawty so fine, shawty she a keeper. Smoke that reefer, preferred by the quarter. I do this for my kids, my sons and my daughter. Get treated like a king. Hoes call me sire. One look like Lotto, the other look like Maya. My plug, he ain't playing, he only talking the numbers. I cop it, whip it, and ship it. My money coming in bundles. Different flavors of kush, orange, grape, and apple. If a nigga trap me, it's gonna be a disaster. Dope money and bitches, pimp robbers and snitches. It's all in my hood. My homies say that I'm gifted, I really can't complain. Shit's starting to change, a product of my environment. Tell me who can I blame? Neck like a glacier, bought my shawty a bracelet. Money go glitter, that's why these niggas be hating. Riding through the city, I'm with it, I got my 9 o'clock. If it really fitted, let's get it, I got the game locked. Green and white squares, been serving them on the same block. Dime piece with me, she foreign, she come from Bangkok. Riding through the city, I'm with it, I got my 9 o'clock. If it really fitted, let's get it, I got the game locked. Green and white squares, been serving them on the same block. Dime piece with me, she foreign, she come from Bangkok. Riding through the city, I'm with it, I got my 9 o'clock. If it really fitted, let's get it, I got the game locked. Green and white squares, been serving them on the same block. Dime piece with me, she foreign, she come from Bangkok. Riding through the city, I'm with it, I got my 9 o'clock. If it really fitted, let's get it, I got the game locked. Green and white squares, been serving them on the same block. Dime piece with me, she foreign, she come from Bangkok. Whole team shining, we stars, big dipper. Get a lot of haystack gang in the sip.
My feet up, my feet up, my feet up. The trap up doing me. Hey, yo,
kick back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. I'm doing me. Hey, I'm kick back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Keep my distance from these suckers. I can't let them ruin me. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. 13 jumped off the porch with drugs is influence. Hey, I'm kick back with my feet up. Kick back with my feet up. Kick back with my feet up in the trap. I'm doing me. Hey, I'm kick back with my feet up. Kick back with my feet up. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. Way to work naked like a skinny dipping, no crosses needed for this crucifixion. Fold out, couple screws missing. Paranoid believing, superstition. No paper in the river fishing. Need a stove, what a nigga's kitchen. Without a diamond, still shine glisten. Sell around so everybody itching. Falling strong, trying to go a mission. Mathematics, simple addition. Bad luck like a bad kid. One of the few still around street, no matter what. Never act different, no GPS. But they back tripping. Money cup, guess I'm back sipping. Like Jason Kidd, I guess I'm back a sipping. Keep back with my feet up in the trap, I'm doing me. Keep my distance from these suckers, I can't let them ruin me. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. 13 jumped off the porch with drugs is influence. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up in the trap, I'm doing me. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me.
I was riding in the tourist, dreaming of a rape. Got it down a bun, then another K. Go by the Escalade, pop out a K. Back cabin with a dude, shot a Timberlake. Real reach at a rally, it's a murder 8. Raw cold, don't watch step with a 8. I'm a star cloud 9, I'm an Alex Payne. Roll run the show, money, get it steady state. Black brother finna kill, have him on the way. Riding 36, 9, present OJ. I was counting money way back in 08. 7 8 when I bought MoneyBoy trade. HD lifestyle, let me 4K. 4 clips, 2 rock chrome, AK. Being legal, I carry 34 state. Sick and tired of it, nigga gotta feel.
Hey, yo, keep back with my feet up in the trap, I'm doing me. Keep my distance from these suckers, I can't let them ruin me. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. 13 jumped off the porch with drugs is influence. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up in the trap, I'm doing me. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up in the trap, I'm doing me. Keep my distance from these suckers, I can't let them ruin me. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. 13 jumped off the porch with drugs is influence. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up in the trap, I'm doing me. Hey, I'm keep back with my feet up. Keep back with my feet up. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me.
Never been a hoe, I stay on go, so what the business? Nigga talking reckless, shoot this bitch ass with the quickness. Now he bleeding, sorry, baby, asking for forgiveness. Bow, 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 limp biscuit. All my niggas wildin', they done labeled us a misfit. Wake up every morning, 2 or 3, 5 in the tidbit. Oh shit, did nobody come to see you old? It's some focus. Shoot 100 shots, no reloaded. Master of the game, you would think I'm into coded. Memphis niggas spit this pimpin', mackin' like I'm golden. Ho, with my money, you gon' turn me to the old me. Say hi, first class flight, I'm in the nosebleed. Hop it, cook it, whip it, ship it till you count the proceeds. OG, I've been moving pack niggas since 03. Low key, niggas hating cause they don't want no beef. State gang, true sippers, bitch, I bet we don't eat. Get jammed, get a lawyer, make it bunny, don't speak. Pour up, I need some more. A nigga had a long week. Shout out to my plug, he showed me love, he out in Long Beach. I'm true geek. Walked in by myself, but left with 2 freaks. Ooh, we nothing in they mouth and on they booty. Austin Power swag, yeah, baby, this is groovy. You can call me Money Boy, or you can call me Nudie. Hood niggas, churches, chicken, let me get a 2-piece. Top down, 2-seater, let me feel the 2 breathe. Gotta hold it steady, chopper, kick it back like Bruce Lee. Lately I I've been in the zone, I guess I'm in my 2-3. Don't call my phone for nothing less than a QP. Feeling like the Migos, cause my bitch is bad and bougie. All my haters love me, all these bitches just some groupies. Came a long way, I like to introduce the new me. Standing on business like I'm king or like I'm Drewski. Call me Run Island cause I like my love for choosy. When we link it's a movie, she bustin' like a Uzi. I love the way she do me, I beat it up like Uzi. She dancing just like Suki. Call me Run Island cause I love my love for choosy. When we link it's a movie, she bustin' like a Uzi. I love the way she do me, I beat it up like Uzi. She dancing just like Suki. I never been a hoe, I stay on go, so what the business? Niggas talking reckless, shoot his bitch ass with the quickness. Name pleading, sorry, begging, asking for forgiveness. Bow, 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 Limp Biscuit. Never been a hoe, I stay on go, so what the business? Nigga talking reckless, shoot his bitch ass with the quickness. Name pleading, sorry, begging, asking for forgiveness. Bow, 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 Limp Biscuit.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Full disclosure, I'm on autopilot. I wasn't going live tonight, but I was asked if I was on vacation. But then I was in Jed live and a whole controversy kicked off about Kamala Harris. And I had some stuff I already set up. So we're going to listen to this interview. This guy named Jamal Truelove. He was wrongfully convicted by Kamala Harris in her office. He says that when he got sentenced to 50 years in jail, she laughed in his face. So without further ado, we're finna get straight into it. Hold on, I gotta find my video. Patience, people, patience. How y'all doing today, though? Rain on day and brought you back outside again. I just, for the life of me, don't understand it. Now, I want to continue a point I was making on your live. Can't no woman get me in no shit if I don't want to be in it. And like, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't take my gal back if that situation happened. They got history, they got kids and all of this. But one thing I would not do, like that would be part of my agreement to stay, I forgive you all of that shit. But what we not gonna do is get online and argue with the same exact people from that situation. So every time you say something, all they gotta do is say you want to suck this nigga dick. I'm not gonna go through that embarrassment. You didn't embarrass me once. Every time you get up here and say something, all everybody gotta say is you want to suck this nigga dick. You was talking, brother. The chat, the videos are still up. Where this nigga hit me up talking about what you and the night was talking about. I heard a room hopping, and then all this time later, we know everything, and then he still is just cool with her getting live. Yelling, ranting, bringing this shit up over and over and over and over again. That's why I can't respect him. Not because he stayed, not because he was a bitch and said, I ain't gonna beef with you and all of that. Not because he emailed Truth and said my family hurting and all of this shit there, come out with the bullshit. It's because he gets embarrassed every time this bitch speak and bring it up. Why would you want to keep bringing this shit up? I don't understand it. But whatever. I'm off my soapbox now.
Wish you introduce yourself to the people.
Yes, my name is Jamal Truelove. A lot of people know me as 10 Milli Millie. I'm from San Francisco, California, Frisco, Bay Area, Sunnydale Projects, up the hill. And a lot of people know me for being framed for murder by the San Francisco Police Department and the District Attorney Office led by Kamala Harris.
So before we get into how, you were framed for murder by Kamala Harris in her office, if you don't mind, Can you walk me through the entire incident that took place that led to that?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so in 2007, me and the homies, we was all in the hood, Sunnydale Project, San Francisco. We was all shooting dice. So y'all know how it is in the hood, while shooting dice, things get, real active. We drinking liquor, so forth and so on. So one of my homies, Sale Kuka, at the time, he was a little W, was drunk on some, he lost his money, mad because his girl, went to amusement park without him, so forth and so on. And you know how there's always like a little pot of money in general. He ended up taking the pot of money and went off to the store to buy some liquor. Nobody wanted to give him no money to buy no liquor. So we thought nothing of it.
Y'all gave a nigga who had lost all his money and was mad the pot. That was y'all first mistake. You don't get no nigga who just lost all his money, the pot to go get some liquor. He gonna run off. He don't give a damn if you know where he's staying. He gonna run off. He was mad. Anything, he gonna take the money, try to flip it, so when he see y'all again, y'all won't even be upset because he gonna give y'all what he took. But yeah, he definitely was gonna take the money. That was y'all first fuck up.
It was only like $40 just in general. We kept on shooting dice. Probably about 15 minutes later, we see him coming up the street, coming up Blightdale, and my little brother is coming down Blightdale. So my little brother got a new whip. He just came into some money and so forth. He only 18 years old at the time. And Sale came up, sliding, profiling. That's what we call it, profiling up the street. And he ended up hitting my little brother's mirror. So I swiped my little brother's mirror. So I heard the noise. I seen what had happened. We continued, shooting dice like it was nothing. I started seeing like people go around the building up towards the parking lot where they both ended up going to the parking lot to see what was going on. So this being my little brother and Sale being like, my big homie at the time or whatnot, even though we're not that far in age, just in general, but he was like the big homie because he has some size on him. So I went around the corner and I seen, Sale with his shirt off, kind of like probing my little brother a little bit. My little brother got his face contorted. He mad because he knows it's not on him and so forth. And so I started making my way towards the parking lot. And so my older brother, he ended up intervening before I even got there, to try to like stop it and to be like, if you're gonna try to fight my little brother, you're gonna fight me. And for me, I didn't want no fights happening at all because like we a unit all together. Like, so, I came in since I knew Sale far longer than everybody else did, coming up in the streets. I felt like, I could have this talk with him. But he is definitely, he definitely lit, he drunk, and he really ready to fight. He ready to, cause some damage. And I'm probably like 130 pounds at the time, 140 pounds at the time, and my little brother littler than that. So, so I intervened just in general. Now we have a whole crowd around us. Everybody's coming out the windows, doors. And, I knew what this was leading up to ultimately be. But so one of our other homies, to try to deter the situation, ended up, and when I say one of our other homies, we all homies, right? To a degree. Let off 2 shots in the air and to spread everybody out, to have everybody kind of scattered. And what that did, that fueled Sale more than anything. And he was like, oh, Nick's got guns. Nick, we all got guns. So he started, heading towards the other building down the block on Blightdale and went to ask one of our other homies to give him a strap. Now I followed him because I wanted to make sure that he didn't get no gun. Because I know nobody was gonna kill him or do anything like that because we just know he was drunk. This is his MO, just in general. Ain't nobody trying to do something to him. But we know if he get this gun, then he's probably gonna do something to somebody, just in general. And ain't nobody gonna let him just get the gun without, having they strap out on some and that's what, So our homie didn't want to give him a gun. I advised him not to give him a gun. Now at the time, I'm like big homie on the block for real. I made a certified name for myself in the streets. And I don't know, when Nick feared me in that, in a sense where I was known as like this, this killer, drug dealer type. Nick, I was very low key, and I was strategic on how I came up in the streets in general. So, so what I did, I remember one of my older homies, Rich, how he used to be able to calm Sale down. He'll kind of get in his face and grab him or whatnot. And so I took that approach, you know, and I grabbed him and I talked to him, you know, and I'm like, you know, giving him that real love, you know, like hug, bear hug, you know, trying to calm him down, like, bro, like you're taking it too far, blase. And from there, he's steaming, but then he breaks out of it kind of like in a violent way to a degree, but not in no, you know, like he broke out of it to do something to somebody or whatnot. He just broke out of it in a violent way. But for me, it made me think that he wasn't listening. He wanted to keep it going. So, you know, I'm like, man, I bounced off and went across the street. I'm really like, I'm about to get up out of here, you know, and I'm gonna get mine up out of here just to, you know, to alleviate the whole issue. But also, you know, I'm feeling that like, whatever you want to do, we can do it when it comes down to it. That was what was in my mind, but I didn't want it to be nothing, you know, like that because I didn't want our block to ultimately split and separate. So I went across the street. I had a car in the parking lot and I had a little chick in the car. So I went across the street. And when I went across the street and I started talking to the girl, my little brother kind of followed me to go to Sale's house where his girl is like, you know, our big sis. And my little brother is only 16 at the time. And he's kind of just going to kind of either plead his case or to just, you know, calm down as well. And Sale started following him, like skipping towards him. Now, one of our other men, you know, who knows Sale as well, intervened to try to like calm him down and tell him chill because it looked like he was going to do something to my little brother. And in that instance of him trying to do that and calm Sale down, Sale went off and fired on him and tried to knock him out. So what he didn't know, or he probably didn't give a f about at the time, and that our mans had a strap on him. So he did what almost anyone would do if you got a gun on you and you just get assaulted by somebody. He got up because he didn't knock him out and instantly pulled the strap. And before I could tell him stop in the motion, he already dropped him with 2 shots and then stood over him and fed him 9 in his head. So after that, you know, obviously this is a murder scene. There's no way this guy is alive. And, you know, everybody scattered, everybody left, me as well. I hopped in a whip, dipped up out of there, got my little brother, dipped up out of there. Everybody left besides the people who probably just stayed around the pillar and wanted to, you know, that lived there and ultimately, you know, came out and mourned over his dead body. So we left, bounced off, went and grouped, obviously, to talk about what was, you know, what just happened. And now put that aside. So what had kept on going on the scene was that the police came and the police was asking people, you know, who did it? They wanted people to, you know, to tell on the person who did it. Now, the person who did it, like, you know, this is my man's, we was really in the streets. Like, it's really a serial killer, like, for real, right? And everybody knows it. Everybody knows he got 9, 10 bodies, you know what I mean? This is his MO. So everybody spooked to say that it was him. So the closest thing to say that it was him, there was like, oh, it was somebody Jamal was with. Now, mind you, this is a cross-racial homicide, right? I'm black. My man's who, you know, my man's at the time that ended up killing my man's is black, and he's Samoan. And most of the people on the block are Samoan. I mean, I ain't gonna say most of the people, but it's like a 50-50, right? We grew up with a lot of Samoans that, you know, it was like niggas, right? So so my name kept on being, you know, said on the block at that time. And then you had this girl named Priscilla Lululamanga who said to the police that she's seen the murder and this is her cousin and so forth and so on, and that she wanted to, you know, she wanted to cooperate. So they snuck her out the back of the house and took her to the police station. When they took her to the police station, they walked her inside of the police station. Now, mind you, how I know this is because what ultimately came out in my civil trial later. So she came into the police station with the 2 detectives. Before they even got to the precinct, Ingleside Station, they already had this clipboard with my face on it, right? And who testified to this is this kid by the name of Oliver Barsenet, who was like 16 years old, 17 years old at the time. And I'll show you how Oliver comes back in later. but he testified to remembering this last name Truelove being said while he was at the police station. And they were pointing at this clipboard of a mugshot and repeating to this girl, was it this guy? Something that starts with a J, Truelove. And the girl kept on saying, no, it wasn't him. So no, it wasn't him. Now, what they ended up doing with frustration was take her to the back where there's a lot of different mug shots on the wall. The mug shots on the wall had various of people's faces, including mine. The same mug shot that was on the clipboard. And they said, point at the person if you recognize them on this board, whoever you recognize. And she went ahead and pointed at my little brother's picture. It was like, yes, he was the guy being chased. So what she perceived in her mind that my little brother was being chased by Sel. She also pointed, and now my picture, my mugshot is right above my little brother's. She doesn't point at it at all. She went on to point at my older brother's picture as well and said that he was there on the scene and his picture was like 2 pictures away from mine. So she wrote a statement and said, you know, what she said and what she's seen. And it was pretty accurate what she's seen, to be honest, right? But the thing was, it wasn't me, right? And so, so from there, they never brought up any charges because she didn't say that I did it. So after about 2 days of all of this stuff going on, right? What's happening on my end is me trying to bridge this gap between who's responsible, on who did it, and why people feel like I should have did something about it because that was my man's, and why me and my crew should have did something about it. Now, my man's who ended up killing Sel, he's not from our block, right? But, you know, he's from our hood, and our hood, Sunnydale Projects, is really separated by probably about five different cliques, either by streets or proximity of the projects, being up the hill, Trey Foe, you got down the hill, 42nd, the borderline, 1800, Murder Brook. Anything new from there is just some new shit that's going on in my hood in general. But everybody kept on saying that it was my friend who did it, you know, and they kept on saying him. And I think what they ended up coming up with is blame Jamal, right? And what he will ultimately do is tell on the nigga who did it. So that's what they ended up coming up with. Now, what's happening in aspect of the police, the very next day, police goes to her house with a photo again, right? Trying to get her to, you know, say that I did it. And she ended up, you know, not saying that I did it. It wasn't until I feel like she was convinced by the people, her people, my people at the time, to say that I did it. Now, so the very next day, she called the police.
Where the fuck did that come from? Oh, my bad.
Told them to come down, like she has a good idea who did it, because they were calling her and stuff like that. And they said that we give you a 6-pack lineup. Do you think that you could point the person out? And she said yes. So they went to her job with a 6-pack lineup that was faulty to deal with, because the 6-pack lineup had not 4 people that she had already identified as in people that she knew. And a 6-pack lineup isn't supposed to go like that, right? So it was me, my little brother, one of my youngest is, who ultimately I'll tell you that story as well, and 2 other people. And then, so in the 6-pack lineup, I am the only one that has my mugshot with the date on it of the date that the murder happened, right? This is something I called into question in my initial trial without knowing all of these other things I'm explaining to you now. And then, and I'm the only one that has this orange-red jumpsuit on. So it was very telling how they constructed the 6-pack lineup, who they wanted her to point at. And that's what she did. She said, that looks like the person who could have shot Sel. Is that Jamal? And they confirmed, they said, yes, that's Jamal. And she said, well, I'm almost 100% sure that he was the one who did it. But almost 100% sure ain't gonna cut it. especially when this is a murder case and you're relying exactly on what one person said, right? But the law is that one person can prove a fact and one person could ultimately send somebody to prison for the rest of their life based off of what they believe that they seen. So what the police did, they did nothing about it. They didn't believe it was credible enough because of what they had her saying and what her statement was. So now, mind you, at that time, I'm still trying to figure out everything that's going on between like the streets and how my peoples is feeling, how the other side of my peoples is feeling. And, you know, you got one side ready to go to war, the other side ready to go to war as well. I understand why they feel some type of way. I understand why they feel some type of way. And I'm kind of like stuck in the middle. But to be honest, Sil was really one of my good friends. And, you know, I was leaning their way more at that time because something had to happen, right? But what's known to me, that's something that has to happen to me. And they were plotting it. So we had a mutual friend from another side, another hood in San Francisco that really stayed out of.
This story long as hell. I want to get to Kamala. I do, but I guess the backstory is important because she's the one that's going to prosecute the case.
This other conflict that was happening in San Francisco between me and, you know, my man's.
Notice how the host of the show, Art of Dialogue, it's been 20 minutes. He asked that nigga one question. Well, he didn't even ask him a question. He said, introduce yourself so people can know who you are. 20 minutes later, he's listening. He ain't asked no questions. He ain't stopped him. He ain't said, hold up. I like his interview style.
Killed my mans, right? Who was staying out of it.
Let me share this on my community, right? Inspiration.
But since they wanted something to do with me, and since he was already an enemy of where my other guy is from at the time, he played off of, you know, our relationship and acted like, you know, he just wanted to just be out of it. And the reason why he was in it is because I had one of his things, right? I had a chop of his, and he had a mini faux nick of mine, right? And he wanted it back because in his mind, he thought we were going to use it for this war that was brewing up. So I thought he was, you know, more so just in the middle and not want to be a part of it. I respected it. I got a history with him in general, right? So I'm in Oakland and I'm setting up to meet him, you know, at the time to, you know, transfer, you know, to give him his thing for him to give me my thing. And so I go outside. Now, good thing my little homie is, at the time, wanted to go with me to the store right after I make this exchange. So when I go outside, I see him posturing kind of like Manny, where, you know, he got his hands kind of like right here, and he like, oh yeah, I'm parked over here, and he has a van, right? So I'm already kind of like eerie a little bit, but I don't want to be like, oh, hold on, what type of shit you on? Because I don't know if you own any type of shit or not. So now I got this chop broken down in my bag, right? In a baseball bag. So we make our way over, and when I see him go around to the other side of the van to basically get in, I go to act like I'm about to hop in the back of the van. So I go to open the door. And I lean to see if he hopped in the car yet. And he didn't hop in the car. But right at that moment that I noticed he didn't hop in the car, I feel the door push open, and my little is going inside of the van when I open up the door. And they come out, blah, 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 and instantly shoot Iz in the face. He turned around, start running me. I instantly just book it straight. I don't got a building to turn. I don't got a car to hide behind. I don't got a fence to hop. I literally got to run directly straight in hopes that I hit this corner in time. Because in my mind, I mean, I came up, you know, like in war times. Like me and my hood ward in San Francisco from 2002 to like 2007, like crazy. So in my mind, I'm already thinking like, damn, I'm about to get shot, right? So I'm running fast as I can. My head is down, and all I'm thinking is just don't shoot me in my head so I can have an open casket for my mama. All I'm hearing is these gunshots because his is already gone. They focus directly is on me. And I'm hearing I'm seeing everything just literally go past me. And I went a full block, an Oakland block, and made that right, make that left, hit the corner, took the, I know the police is coming, took the thing off, threw it in the bushes. Now I'm right there by Lake Mary. Now I'm furious, that this nigga basically just set me up in general. So, but now I know what their intentions are, right? Because there's no way that he does this without them approving for this to ultimately happen, right? So now, good thing my little homie he ended up, living. He got shot a couple times. Obviously, he got shot in the face, up his teeth, went out his ear and stuff, and and he lived. So in between all of that, I had just made it on I Love New York. I just came off of I Love New York, the reality show, to try to ultimately put my name out there and my music out there because I was focused on music.
Wait, now I gotta go watch I Love New York to see this nigga. He was on the show. She passed out a number or a clock or whatever the hell it was she used. Very, very interesting.
Ways, born to be an entertainer and to get into like music and film, acting, and all these other things. I just never had the opportunity to do so. So after that happened, I felt some type of way.
Man, all y'all rappers other than Big Sean rap like Blueface.
I damn near was ready to go to war and really, and put the pressure on them. But I had too much love for them to do so. And for me and my strategies, it's gonna be easy. Like, to be honest, and I don't want to hurt people I've been loving my whole life and so forth and so on. And I wasn't for him getting killed at the end of the day. So I'm not on TV yet, right? But I'm about to be. So I said, you know what? Instead of me staying here, because now I can't really, once this airs, I can't go do the interviews at the radio station and go do the club pop-ups and stuff like that because Muff gonna phone pit me, right? And I know that in Muff's minds, they want to knock it down. So it's either I am fully, out here in war, with my own people, which I know I'm gonna win if I went that way with it, but I didn't want to go that way with it. So I ended up leaving and moving to New York City. Went to New York City. Obviously, I ain't got no job or anything like that. All my money I came up with, came out of the streets in one way or another to take care of my family, just in general. And that's a whole nother story. But so I went to New York. I ended up locking in with one of my guys over there that I met just on a humbug from Bronxdale Projects. And he put me on to, how much they was paying for like pills, like ecstasy pills and shit like that. I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. And I already knew I knew what we was paying for them. We was paying a $1 a pill. They was paying like $7 a pill at the low.
Yeah, boy.
So I found my hustle, but I also was like, I'm gonna use my celebrity once I go on this show to be able to catapult my career into film or into music and so forth. A year passes. So I'm in New York for a year. I'm back and forth. And what's killing me is a lot of people are saying, like Nick ran me off the block. Like,
everything on the radio station sounded like Blueface, man. What y'all play on the radio station is West Coast Blueface rappers. They ain't even trying to rap to the beat. That's what I heard. Now, I don't know about the underground rappers with the mixtapes and all of that stuff, but yeah, this what y'all promote on the radio, that this Blueface, Tatiana.
I left or whatnot, right? And it's killing me to hear things like that, as in if I'm scared or so forth and so on. And I literally...
You from Lansing anyway. You ain't even from Detroit. You from Lansing.
It felt like...
My bad for doxing.
My whole history of who I was dwindling away. And I was having, homesickness. I wanted to get back to the block. I wanted to get back, you know, to my people. I seen my homie Cell funeral on YouTube, and, you know, and I cried. And I'm like, damn, y'all hate me, but I don't feel that way towards y'all on some But it got to the point, you know, after a year, that Halloween was coming up, and I was ready to show up. So after a year, I came back. I was in Seaside, Monterey. Now, in between that time, well, I'll get to that. So I'm at Seaside, Monterey. It's like a couple days before Halloween. And, you know, I go down to the beach and I got a big blunt. I smoke and I pray to God. I'm like, God, whatever ends up, you know, happening on this next day on Halloween, when I do my pop-up, you know, let it be your will. And I smoked and I prayed and I talked to God, and God talks back to me in, you know, ways of my actions and ways of my thoughts. So I went to the house. Next day, I get into it with my son's grandmother because, you know, she wanted us to pay her money and so on and so on. And she was mad, so she ended up calling the police. Police came and they asked me for my ID, gave them my ID. You know, they ran my name, and next thing you know, they pull out the strap and they said, get down, get down. I'm like, oh, what the f going on? And they put me in the back of the car and they say that they got a warrant for you out of San Francisco for a murder. Now, I thought that it was just, you know, I thought that was just, you know, a formality that they were trying to get me in to ultimately interview me, right? I had no idea at the time that this girl even existed that was saying that I did it. And I definitely didn't know at the time that there was another girl saying that I did it, which ended up being the reason why they got the arrest warrant. So a week before I got arrested, like 2 weeks before I got arrested, the police, the detectives had arrested this girl named Letitia. They pulled her over. She's a schizophrenic. She's a crackhead. She got a 9mm on her lap, 7-year-old in the back, and her husband is a parolee who I think had a warrant or something like that. They pull her over and they take her in and they tell her, hey, you know, we'll let you go if you could tell us anything about this murder, this homicide that happened, since you live right here on this block. So she went ahead and told them everything that she didn't see, but that she heard in the streets, and mushed up all these type of things, with them helping her, coercing her to say certain things, which later on we found out that them coercing her, those audio tapes disappeared. So what they did was take all of her words, in theory, and write this affidavit and had her sign it, saying that she will go to court and testify to what they had in the affidavit. Now, the affidavit is her saying basically that I did it, and it was a little bit of everywhere, but that gave them enough, and it sounded credible, right? And the detectives had said, we believe this witness is highly credible, and we will count her as a truth-telling witness. So now they accompany that with the initial witness, Priscilla, and now they have two people saying that Jamal Truelove killed Sel Cooper. So that led to me being arrested. Now again, I go to 850, locked up. I'm thinking they're gonna let me go in 72 hours. They don't let me go in 72 hours. I go to my preliminary hearing. And after my preliminary hearing, I'm like, there's no way that this girl is ultimately going, these people are going to say that I did it. You know, I'm confident that they're not going to do this, right? So I go to my preliminary hearing, and Letitia, attorney, ended up coming in and telling my attorney that she's not going to testify, that, you know, and she's sorry that she lied, and so forth and so on. And we wanted to know more, but the attorney wouldn't tell us more. So now the city attorney's office is back to just this one girl saying that I did it. Now, mind you, what I found out later, and what I know they got now at this point, is just this girl who vaguely says that I did it. She's almost 100% sure. They put this girl in witness protection, which there was no threat to her life or whatever, but that's what the DA office used as a strategy to really inflame the jury. As in, if this girl is truly in fear of her life, and how truthful do you have to be about what you've seen to uproot your life to go live in this crummy hotel, which was later debunked by Justice Klein during my appeal. and he said it was, you know, it was made up of whole cloth because there wasn't no truth to it at all. So what I know they ended up having was, and unbeknownst to me, which was a total Brady violation that I couldn't prove at the time because it came out in my civil trial. So there's this detective, a gang task force agent and officer named Kevin Noble. He knows me, knows my family, and everybody in the hood. I mean, everybody knew I didn't do it, and everybody knew, you know, for one, I was keeping it a bean, and I wasn't ratting on the nigga who did it, right? And so forth. But Kevin Noble hated that I was in jail for it, right? Because he never knew me as like the rah-rah guy, right? His perception of me is Jamal never ran when we hit the block. Everybody else did, right? And this was another thing I feel why the police had it, you know, had something against me. Because I got money out here, I got clout out here, and I can go to any project, which Kevin Noble testified to, in San Francisco, and know the nigga that's there. That really fooled me, which he testified to, you know, seeing me in, like, for instance, Hunter's Point, who we had a long history of warring with another project's area of San.
Needless to say, this nigga is long-winded. But it's an interesting story, though.
Cisco, he testified to, I seen Jamal, you know, over at Hunter's Point, over on Harbor Road, and I pulled up like, yo, what are you doing here? They're gonna kill you. And he testified, Jamal told me that, hey, I got a player's pass. I'm good anywhere. And I wrote that down, and that's what I told everybody else. Like, there, Jamal does have a player's pass because I used to see him everywhere. Now, so Kevin Noble, back to the story, came to the DA's office with information from another witness who said that I didn't do it, and it was this person. And they presented to him the person who did it, right? And since they already had this girl saying that I did it, they shoved it under the rug and act like it wasn't there, act like they never got this information. Now, the only way I get this information is because of Kevin Noble testified to it in my civil trial. Also, when I look at the original homicide file, right? And a lot of people say, you know, how is Kamala Harris, for instance, you know, attached to your case when she was just the district attorney? You know, she didn't argue it, right? Well, the district attorney doesn't argue cases, but when murder cases come in, right, they look at them, the homicide file, they see where what the case lies, what lies in the case, and they delegate it to their ADA. They delegate it to the prosecutors around, right? The ones that's actually arguing. But to say that she didn't know about my case is to say that she didn't pay attention to no murder cases, which mine was a high-profile murder case out of San Francisco, right? Now, if me, a layman, can see inside of the original homicide file, which I ended up getting in my civil trial, but in the homicide file that they gave me originally, that was in black and white, there's these 2 pages that stood out, and it was the autopsy, right? I think her name was something Moffitt. It was her name, and then as in if there was notes there, but there was no notes, right? And then the other page was a page where it spoke about the ballistics, right? The shell casings and where they were, right? And you see that it was like these 4, what they call doodles there, right? And I identified it as them trying to figure out why is the shell casings over here when 95% of guns shoot from the right side of the barrel, and the shell casings would have been in the street and not all the way over here. So if her testimony is said to be true, then the shell casings would be over here. So when you look at the original homicide file, you see that the detectives were writing in pen, pencil, and marker. So in my civil trial, right now, mind you, this is all the stuff that they have, right? I don't find this stuff out until my civil trial, right? When you go directly to that paper, you can look at the paper without even putting it in the light and see that the trajectory of the bullet wound, the information was erased. It was written in pencil and it was erased because the trajectory of the bullet wounds hurted their case, right? And because there's no way.
Hurted is not a word, sir. You let English whoop your ass. I know it's tricky I know it is, but hurt is the correct word there. Hurt, not hurted. For some reason, words like hurt can be present, past tense, and all that other shit. It's just crazy. But yeah, hurt is not a word. You know what? I need to stop correcting people for saying what are and are not words. Because last time I did that, I got blocked out of chat. So maybe I need to stop. It's not them, it's me.
That she says that the shooting happened in this at this angle, but the bullet wounds are coming from a different angle. So they erased it. Now, on that other page where they said they were doodling, when you take that page and put it up to the light, you see that they had nine little dots representing the shell casings in a row. They couldn't understand why the shell casings were in a row on the opposite side of where the witness says that the shooting ultimately happened. Now, we don't know these things when I'm going to my original trial, right? But we went, at her when it comes down to, her identity, and so forth and so on of what she says she seen, which ultimately got better over time. She ended up saying, I'm 100% sure that this is the person over time. And this is after she was paid. I ain't gonna say paid as in here, take this cash, but she was put into hotels, housing, gave food. They gave her sister $10,000 to move her. Like, they did all of these things to certify her as being in witness protection, right? And if you're poor in the projects, and they're ploying towards your emotions and you're trying to do the right thing as well, you start eating that shit up. And that's exactly what she did. She ate it up. So in my preliminary hearing, back to my preliminary hearing, they put her on the stand. She said that I did it. It bounded me over to trial. Went to trial and fought it. It was a good fight. We put up a good defense. Christopher Shea, he was my attorney. R.I.P. to him. He just recently had a heart attack and died, which is crazy. But yeah, we ended up losing. And after I lost, got convicted, whether the sentence came in, obviously the courtroom is full. I know who this lady Kamala Harris is, right? People in the projects knew who she was because she was a Black district attorney. And we thought that we had a Black district attorney in office, right? And
she's not Black. That's what y'all need to think. She's not Black. And this is, I guess, today is Sunday. It's the beginning of the week. I guess this is gonna be Kamala Harris week. I guess the DNC is wrapping up and shit. Did we listen? No, we didn't do anything from the RNC, so we don't play the DNC either. But this Kamala Harris week, fuck it. Everything that's been going on, Ricky smiling, crying, Charlamagne don't know if he want to back her or not. This is Kamala Harris week.
We perceive to be Black.
Man, and so is old Sleepy Joe, the president. He the one that signed the crime bill that really started the crime bill it really fucked up California, and she prosecuted a lot of them cases. She in San Francisco. She was the DA. Got him.
Right, that's from Oakland, and that's all we kind of knew. And we would think that, that she would, be a little bit more favorable to us. Now, during my trial, I didn't even think of this lady, just in general. I just knew that she was the head DA. They never came and tried to talk to me, anything of the sort, right? It was strictly, you did this, we charging you, you're going down. So at my preliminary, on verdict day, I remember seeing her in the back when I walked in. And when they laid down announced that I was convicted of first-degree murder, which I already knew I was convicted because the jury asked a question to the bailiff, because they give like these questions to be clear to the judge or whatever it may be, and we get to know what the question is. They bring us down to what the question is. And the question was, what's the difference between first-degree murder and second-degree murder? So I already knew that they just decided if it's going to be first-degree or second-degree. So I already came in there with the energy of I'm convicted. Now, they already knew too. So that's why the courtroom was super packed. And you see Kamala Harris like literally like front row, opposite side on the defensive side. And, you know, when they came with the verdict, guilty, you know, me, I wanted to make sure I seen everything that was in that motherfucker on that side, not supporting me, and everybody else that was on that side. Because I knew, for one, I didn't do it. I stood on principle, and, you know, and I was gonna fight to ultimately get back. And I'll never forget when I turned around and I looked and I seen Kamala Harris, you know, we locked eyes this one time, and she laughed. She literally just like kind of busted out laughing, almost as in that she was pointing at it, like, ha, 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 ha. That's how I felt. Though she didn't point, but that's how I felt when she was laughing. Just like, dude, for one, I didn't do it. I stood on principle, and, you know, and I was gonna fight to ultimately get back. And I'll never forget when I turned around and I looked and I seen Kamala Harris, you know, we locked eyes this one time, and she laughed. She literally just like kind of busted out laughing, almost.
The dialogue ain't saying nothing in 46 minutes and 31 seconds. We on, 45, 31. We on 45, 36. She ain't said nothing.
As in that she was pointing at him like, ha, 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 ha.
Unless he cut his questions out.
How I felt. Though she didn't point, but that's how I felt when she was laughing at the verdict coming down. So, you know, I took it in. It's like, all right, pause. And it was like, all right, whatever. So now the next thing that I need to figure out is how can I get a retrial before I get sentenced, right? I don't know. I'm learning all of this stuff. I'm learning the law. What is it that, you know, it is? Nobody, out of everybody that was there, everybody knew I didn't do it, but in their mind, they thought of it as even if you came and testified to say that I didn't do it and not say that somebody else did it, that's still telling when it's not. But also, I get them to a degree, they were kind of scared of the opposing side, because if they came and defended me, then they may end up getting, you know, like knocked down or something like that. Like they have to worry about it in the streets and so forth and so on, saying that they supported me or whatnot. Even one of my main mentors, who, you know, I worked with, you know, for a long time, nonprofit, United Players, even he was on their side, right? But he didn't know the full story, but he had that fear in him, because he came for me, but he seen them and he thought they was for me, but found out that they wasn't, and it put him in a sticky situation where he didn't even want to say nothing because he didn't want to get get involved in the situation. So, so the next thing that happened that was huge and significant before I get my sentencing, this is in 2010. At this point, I went to this church service and I came back from this church service. Remember I told you about the kid, Oliver Barcenas, right? I come back to my 12-man pod on the 7th floor, and this Hispanic kid comes up to me. He was like, "Hey, your last name Truelove?" I'm like, "Yeah." He like, "Did you go to jail like in 2007 or something?" I'm like, "Nah, but that's when my case happened." He said, "Oh yeah, I remember being at Ingleside police station, and this one girl came in with these 2 detectives, and I remember them saying something Truelove, and that never left my mind. And when I seen your name in the newspaper, it was like it triggered that memory." I'm like, "Hold on, what?" He broke down the whole scenario that I explained earlier right there in front of me. I'm like, "Oh, this is new evidence. This is evidence that I couldn't discover on my own, right? Because I knew nothing of him being there. Even when we subpoenaed the police station to have all the names of everybody that was at the police station at that time, I don't care if it was a motherfucking janitor, give us the name. They never put Oliver Barcenas' name on the list. So we have a clear-cut new evidence that leads to that can lead to my innocence if he was put up against this one girl saying that I did it, and then he goes up there and saying that this girl at the police station was saying that he did not do it, and plus, like I said, the faulty 6-pack lineup, you merge all those things together, I'm out. Not guilty, for sure. Now, they got an issue. They got a huge issue. Because at that time, so I hit my attorney, I told him about Oliver Barcenas. My attorney searched it up, looked it up. He was there at the exact same time that the murder happened, the exact same time she was at the police station. There's no way around that. And I don't know this kid, so there's no way for me to just come up out of nowhere and start coercing this person. And if I knew him, I would have been put him up on the stand. So there's no way. that they can ultimately say that we had an opportunity to use him and didn't, and they can't say that, I coerced him to say this. There's no way, because it's living proof that he was at the police station at that time. Oh man, I'm talking my big one. I'm back. I'm feeling good, right? So at the time, what was going on in San Francisco, we had a big crime lab scandal, drug scandal under Kamala Harris, where this lady that was working in the office in the drug lab was a dope fiend, and she was stealing the drugs, right? The DA office was hiding this. They were hiding it, right? Because they didn't want a scandal to come out. It wasn't until her family, who was telling them time and time again, ended up going to the news, told the news, and it came out in an article about her, I think it was her niece or her mom or whatever it may be, told them that she was telling the office of Kamala Harris and the DAs that her family member is taking the drugs from the drug lab. It ended up blowing up. So what it ended up doing was pushing, I think it was about forcing them to drop like 1,700 cases, right? People that was in prison who got convicted based off of it, and people that was up for a trial right now, because there's no way that they could go to trial on this because of this error on none of those drug charges. Now, the other thing that was going on at the exact same time was Kamala Harris was she was campaigning to be Attorney General, right? So there's another case, one of my partners from Filmo, Jamal Obuagu, his case. Now, in his case, he got convicted for murder. In his preliminary hearing, again, one witness. The witness says that he was not the shooter. He was the person, he was with the shooter who did it, right? The shooter, they said that they don't even have enough evidence to say that he actually did it. But they arrested who they said the shooter was, and who this person said that the shooter was, but them identifying that person was sketchy. But they said that he or she was 100% sure that Ijama was there. So they charged him for the murder. Now, in our preliminary hearing, fast forward to his trial, he went to trial, and then the witness changed her testimony and said, no, he was the shooter. He was the person who actually did it. And the judge let that play on. The DAs went all the way in on it. And lo and behold, John was convicted for murder.
We see them doing it to Lil Wu did.
Now, so in his motion to review to get a new trial, his attorney stated, look, there's no way that this lady could say, this person, guy, whatever, this witness can say that he wasn't the shooter that got him bounded over to trial, but he was the shooter, and then at trial say that he was the shooter. There's no way you can let this slide. So the judge had to grant him a new trial. Now I'm looking, now I got this new evidence. Oliver Martinez, they had him down as being a known Norteño gang member or whatnot, but he's never been to the pen. This is his first time on the way to the pen. He got the okay, from his people to get on the stand and testify to what he remembered that day, right? And we did this in a motion to review for a new trial based off of new evidence before I get convicted, before I get sentenced. In the district attorney office, they came up with this cockbull story saying that, oh yeah, he's doing this as a favor for the blacks and the northerners in prison and so forth and so on. Just a ton of bullshit. Like, how the is this happening? And he's never even been to prison. I've never been to prison either. So, but the thing about it, and this is where politics play. If they would have granted me a new trial based off this evidence that was strong in evidence, if they would have granted me a new trial, headlines would have been San Francisco District Attorney Kamala Harris convicting the wrong people in a time that she was moving to be Attorney General. You got the crime lab, you got 2 murder cases that has convictions that instantly get new trials to them based off new evidence and faulty testimony in general. And so in the judge, I believe the judge, favored this girl getting up on the stand, which she did because she had an opinion after I was convicted. So what they ended up doing was not granting his testimony as credible evidence. And they ultimately denied my new trial. I went to my second, and then when I came back for my sentencing, that's when I seen Kamala Harris again, back there again. smiling, ha, ha, ha. I mean, you see her now, she smiles and laughs for everything, you know what I mean? And in my case, she did the same thing. And I got sentenced 50 to life. And you know, when I after I got sentenced, I made it my mission to ultimately, you know, to get back and hold everybody accountable, from the police to Linda Allen to Kamala Harris, accountable for the negligence or the deliberateness of what she did to me and to numerous of motherfuckers that's around me. Because it wasn't just me. It was Ijama, it was Demarie Hernandez, it was Charles Hurd, it was so many people, and those are all people I know that are definitively innocent that got convicted under the watch of Kamala Harris, regardless of their circumstances, regardless of their history being in the hood and so forth and so on, and oh yeah, this person was a bad person, or that's what he deserved. No, the facts are the facts, the case is the case. When they undercut these evidence and come up with evidence and not rely directly on the strong evidence to convict somebody, it's just wrong. But yeah, so I got sentenced 50 to life in prison. Yeah.
And you said they come on.
Art finally speaks again. It's been 57 minutes. This nigga went off. But he got an interesting story though.
Well, she showed up to two of the most critical moments in your trial, right?
Yeah, she showed up at my conviction date and at my sentencing date. Now, a lot of people try to say that she wasn't, involved in the case, but at the end of my paperwork, it's the stamp of Kamala Harris's office. And for people to say that she had nothing to do with the case or had no knowledge of the case is just not wanting to hold her accountable, or to say that, she's innocent in the situation. Now I know, and people know as well, when San Francisco is only 7 by 7, we don't got tons and tons of homicides happening in San Francisco. And then with this being a highly publicized murder case in San Francisco, of course she had knowledge of it in between the time of her coming to the 2 dates that I said. Now, in the times that I could believe that she was involved, for sure, is when the case got brought to the office, right? You're looking at the homicide file, and she has to delegate this case to a district attorney. Not district attorney, but a prosecutor, somebody that's going to argue the case, which Eric Flemings was the first attorney who argued it in my preliminary hearing. And then she ultimately delegated it to Kamala Harris. Now, the strategy on that, I would say, if I was in her shoes, was for one, you have a female district attorney, you have a female that's a witness, and you have a female judge. Then you have this black man, right? And then he has a white attorney that's, a good-looking attorney, and how that will play to the jury as theater, right? So she had to have seen the case, the original homicide file. Now, if I can literally, as a layman, find in this homicide file the two crucial things that led to my innocence, they did too, right? To say that she wasn't aware of the new evidence that Kevin Nobles brought to their office, with a witness stating that this other person did it, is, to say that, she just either wasn't aware or she really didn't give a that it was literally, we got our guy and tucked it under the rug where they didn't even keep a log of it. The only way that we were able to find out was in my civil trial. Now, if we would have known that before, then yes, it would have been a Brady violation. But we didn't know. So her involvement in the case behind the scenes, one can only infer what that was. But the only time that I ultimately seen her was on those 2 pivotal days. And the statement that she made after that they put in the paper about her honoring, the witness, and how much courage the witness had to have to change her life, just to hold this murderer accountable. But so with that, right, to pick back up on the story just a little bit more, after I got sentenced, 50 to life in prison, I went on, obviously, with a mission to ultimately get back. I met this guy by the name of Tajuddin, and this kind of plays to the macro of my story. When I got to San Quentin, I met this guy by the name of Tajuddin, and he had just finished doing 18 years. Not finished doing 18 years, he just got back, and he's going back to San Francisco to ultimately get his case thrown out, to which Kamala Harris tried to hold his case back due to a motion being filed not on time, or some like that, and tried to delay him being released, which the judge ended up pushing his case forward and ultimately just releasing him. Now, I just wanted to state that because that comes into play later on as well. So I went on my journey to ultimately get back in the trial. Now, mind you, while I'm going through my appellate process, right, she wins Attorney General right after I lose my criminal case. So now, in the process of me going through my appeal, we are going up against the Attorney General office. So now she has this murder case that's on her record, and now we have to argue the appeal through her office. So for one to say that she was not aware of a murder case that was in pursuit of being overturned under her watch, for her not to be aware of that, it's just people being in denial. Because I know if it was me, if it was you, if it was anybody, and you were in that field of work as an attorney general, which they lean on their convictions, right? She didn't want the case to be overturned. So I went through a 3.5 month process, through my appeal process, of them combating back and forth, trying to ignore the fact of prosecutorial misconduct that they say led to ineffective assistance of counsel, which it was. But it led from prosecutorial misconduct. And what's crazy about that is when Linda Allen was spewing all of this from her mouth, talking about how the witness telling the jury to put themselves in her shoes, and how accurate do you have to be to uproot your life and go live in a crummy hotel and X, Y, and Z. You're not supposed to do that. You can't tell the jury to put themselves and play towards their emotion, to tell them to put themselves in the witness's shoes. And there's no evidence of her living in a crummy hotel. So now I'm fighting that, right? Now, in between this time, Oliver Barcenas went off and he did his 12 months, 14 months in prison, and then he was released. Now, this is happening between my appellate process. I know nothing about it at the time. And within 3 months of him being home, he gets shot by the SFPD. He had a gun on him, right? Now, I still don't know that all of this is going on. I don't find this out till later. The city is in uproar because it's a police-involved shooting who shot a young Latino kid. They have no video of it, and they're saying that he had a gun on him, right? Oliver Barcenas lives. But they recover this gun, which in theory, I believe, right, that it was a drop gun.
Yep, sound like a California nigga.
Right? And in the projects, what these police do, they'll chip a gun, give it to a dope fiend or an informant of some sort, most likely a dope fiend, and have that dope fiend go and try to sell this gun to a specific person for an offer you can't refuse in the hood. And that's what I believe happened. And then in that instance, when they know that this person has this gun, there's only two things they can do. They can either not run, go to jail with it, but 9 out of 10 times, 99 out of 100 times, that person is gonna run. And if they run, they gonna start shooting, because they gonna find that gun, and then it's gonna be justified because they're gonna say he had a gun on him. The thing about it didn't work. Oliver lived. They didn't kill him. So he went on to have to do some more time with bullet holes in his ass, and it ultimately ended up catching testicular cancer in prison, and so forth and so on. Fast forward, I win my appeal, and I get back into trial. I win at my second trial. We don't use Oliver Barcenas because he couldn't prove a fact, and it was part of our strategy. Now, mind you, remember, again, Tajudeen. When I got to San Quentin, I talked to Tajudeen. He told me, he was the first person I ever talked to. He told me, he said, Jamal, if you're innocent, make sure you don't fall into the prison politics and you stay on top of it, because it took me 18 years to ultimately, be on top of my case. And now I'm heading back. But make sure that you focus in. So that always stayed right here. After 6 months, I got sent to Calipatria. And Calipatria, the intake dorm was a dorm that ended up being full, and I was the last person that they needed to house. So they put me inside of a actually living dorm, a building. And it just so happens they put me inside the cell with Lukman, who Tajudeen just left out of that cell. So for me, I'm like, what's the coincidence, right? So I'm reading these signs, right? And that made me focus in even more. And it also, made me start drinking coffee, because Lukman, a Muslim brother, Tajudeen is Muslim. I'm not gonna give his name because I don't, I'll give it later. But he was like, yeah, man, your homeboy just left up out of here. This was his coffee mug. And if you want it, you can take it. And I'm like, that coffee mug got some good luck on it. I'm about to start drinking coffee for it. I need that luck. So fast forward, I get back into county jail, my new trial. I didn't get into no fights in county jail. And county jail, respected me. And, I'm 6'3", and, I ain't no sucker out here, like in general. And I ain't getting into like no dumbass, I was self-made, didn't rely on nobody to do anything for me. But this one dude ended up saying some slick shit out of his mouth, and I ended up whooping his ass in the holding cell as I started making my way towards, on my way to one of my court dates. I whooped his ass, so they sent me to the hole. When I went to the hole, I put my mattress and stuff on top of the metal bed frame. I went inside the pocket, the little cubby, pulled out everything that was in there, and then it was an examiner. And when I opened up the examiner, Tajudeen was right there on the front of the paper, sued the San Francisco Police Department and won $3.5 million. So that, for me, that was another sign. Like, okay, I know the trajectory that I'm on. So it didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter what the evidence was. And there was no way of spooking me into taking a deal that they tried to offer me, voluntary manslaughter, and I'll go home and,
I thought the hole was dark.
9 months, 10 months, which almost anybody would have took, right? Because Ijama Obuagu, again, back to him, when they granted him a new trial, still under Kamala Harris, they scared the living shit out of him. He was 20 years old at the time. And they said, hey, look, you can either go to trial, we're gonna convict you again, or you can take involuntary manslaughter and you can go home in a couple months. And he took the deal, though he was innocent. But that's the strategy of the office, right? Put a deal in front of them that they can't refuse. They're already scared to go to trial. Even if you're innocent or you didn't do it, you're still scared to go to trial. But especially if you're innocent, you're scared to go to trial. Especially after you just got convicted and you're seeing everybody around you getting convicted. Again, I won my second trial, right? I never used Oliver Barcenas. And it was like, you know what? It's not meant for me to use him for my criminal trial. It was meant for me to use him for my civil trial. So I come home, Oliver Barcenas comes home just shortly after. He does 3 years straight, gets off parole. I'm just prepping for my civil trial. Now, in my civil trial, I know I'm about to use Oliver Barcenas. I know I'm about to question the original homicide file. And there was another thing that my attorneys was Barry Sheck and Peter Neufeld, and Nick Rustin, who argued my case. Neufeld, Sheck, and Rustin, they're the ones who founded the Innocent Project. And Barry Sheck was O.J. Simpson's attorney. And there wouldn't be a Johnny Cochran without Barry Sheck, because Barry Sheck explained the glove. So Johnny Cochran would have had that historic, closing argument if Barry Sheck isn't that guy that explains it. But anyway, so my attorneys were telling me, they was like, hey, look, you're gonna have to tell them who actually did it, right? And they broke down the difference between criminal and civil, beyond a reasonable doubt, a preponderance of evidence. And I'm like, yo, there's no way. I'm like, that's still gonna be looking at a snitch and tell it. Like, that's not me. I can't do that, right? And then they told me, they said, well, in civil, since this person isn't being, charged criminally, then they're not allowed to use this person's name, right? Because that's a defamation of character. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right. And then so now I'm in my bag of creating theater my damn self, right? Now, they didn't advise me, these things. They didn't know about the original homicide file and what I was questioning. That was my idea to ask the judge, can we see the original homicide file? Also what Oliver Barr said is. So what I did, and this is how flawed the system is. And this is how, where strategy comes into play. So what I did, I'm like, the only way I will feel comfortable by doing this is if I go to the actual shooter and tell him I'm gonna do it. Because I don't want it to come out in any type of way as if I'm trying to tell him this. But I know that, everybody knows. I didn't tell on him in the first 2 trials. Why would I do it now? So that's what I told him. I told him, look, if I was gonna snitch on you, I would have snitched on you the first 2 times, right? And then you didn't do shit for me or for my family or anything like that while I was down. You didn't take care of my kids. If anything, you was spooked thinking I was gonna tell on you. So just respect my strategy and how I'm gonna attack this. But what I need you to do, I'm gonna tell them exactly what happened and I'm gonna tell them that you did it. But what they're not able to do is use your name. And all you gotta do is make sure you plead the fifth. Just come in and plead the fifth. So the only way I was able to do that was in the deposition of Linda Allen, and this plays heavily to why Kamala Harris will never come out and apologize or never come out and say that, she could have made a mistake, is because in the deposition of Linda Allen, I had my attorneys ask Linda Allen, as we sit here today, do you believe Jamal Truelove killed Sal Cougar? And she says, yes, we believe Jamal got away with murder. So that means that's what the office believes. That's what the police believe. That's what all of these motherfuckers believe, that I got away with murder. Regardless of the evidence. The evidence pointed towards my innocence, but they did not give a they were head on that I did it. So with that being said, I thought about it like, damn, I can tell these people exactly who did it, and they still gonna try to deny it. And one more over, they gonna try to call him in. So, like I said, I went to him and I told him what my strategy was, and all he had to do was come in and plead the fifth. So, I told him in my deposition that he did it. And what they do, they called him in in hopes that he came and gave some type of alibi of some sort. And the initial questions in the deposition, he answered, they were basic questions, but once they start getting to some critical questions, he's like, hold on, man, what's going on here? Like, are y'all arresting me for something? Like, whoa, and they're like, no, he's like, I plead the fifth. He's like, if y'all not arresting me, I plead the fifth. And right there, that's when the city knew there was, because he looked guilty. Exactly how I knew it was gonna look. So after that, at that point, the city attorney offered me $2 million. And everybody told me to take it, right? Because, if you lose, you're not gonna get nothing. But from all the other signs that happened in my life, it happened in all, over the past 8-10 years at that time, I'm like, nah, there's no way I'll lose this. Still $2 million, I'm gonna get more, right? And it wasn't even about that. It was about me holding motherfuckers accountable. I wanted to prove that the police framed me. So in my civil trial, we asked the judge, can we see the original homicide file? Seen it. We went directly to those pages. You've seen the trajectory of the bullet wounds. Obviously, the jury is over here seeing this man in the suit who is obviously wrongfully convicted, saying that the police framed him. They pull out the original homicide file. You see the trajectory of the bullet wounds that was stated, written in pencil, in erase, and you can read it literally. You go to the ballistics page. You see that. You can see it literally. They were in tears. Also, we put on the stand Oliver Barr, and he got up there and he told them exactly what he told me the day that I met him in the cell that time. And then them, in panic, they called in the actual murderer to be a witness for them. And he comes in, right? They're looking like the person that did it. If I'm saying that this guy did it, and the jury is looking at it like, oh, if he's saying that this guy did it, then as soon as they see him, he comes in, not to be profiling, two teardrops under his eyes, you know what I mean? With a crazy mug on his face, right? Looking like the nigga that could have did it. And then they look at me, they're like, oh, my attorney grills the shit out of him, and all he doing is, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth. And they excuse him. And he walks right out of the courtroom. The city attorney, they didn't know how bad that was ultimately going to look, which it looked horrible. The jury were in tears. I knew I won
before I even won. So I was ultimately awarded $10 million, right? That by the jury. I became the first person in California history to prove that the police framed a man. Now, mind you, the ultimate goal, what I wanted to do was if I could prove that they framed me in a civil trial, that should be enough evidence to hold them accountable in criminal. Because it should be criminal to frame a man, right? For murder. That's what we all think, right? But now I will be relying on the same city and county who believe I got away with murder to ultimately charge these detectives for framing me. But then there's also what's in there is them not being able to charge them because of the timeline. Because of the timeline of damn, it's leaving my mind. Them being able to charge, right? It's like a in 3-year window, 4-year window to charge somebody of a crime, or you throw it away.
Statute
so they're like, you
statute of limitations.
We can't even charge them anyway. And this is what my attorney just telling me. So I'm like, yeah, that's so I went on to win the $10 million. We ended up settling. So people always try to be like, oh, but you settled. No, I didn't. What we settled on was the $3.1 million that the city attorney has to pay the attorney fees for, which my attorneys filed the attorney fees being $4 million that they would have had to, give up. But they're like, man, we're not giving you $4 million. We'll give you 3.1. And that's what my attorneys ultimately settled on. And all combination, between the 10 million and 3.1, it ultimately came out to 3.1 million, which we went 60-40, right? So after winning the civil case, within 3 months again, I was sentenced and shot by the SFPD.
It sounds like you still settled for 3.1 million and not 10. You was awarded 10, but you settled for 3.1. That's what it sounds like. Let me skip it back again. Let me be talking fast.
4, which my attorneys filed $1 million that the settling. So people always try to be like, oh, but you settled. No, I didn't. What we settled on was, are you throwing it away? So they're like, we can't even charge them anyway. And this is what my attorney just telling me. So I'm like, yeah. So I went on to win the $10 million. We ended up settling. So people always try to be like, oh, but you settled. No, I didn't. What we settled on was the 3.1.
He said, we ended up settling. And he said, then people always say, but you settled though. No, I didn't. We settled to, what the hell? Bro, you took a settlement.
I went on to win the $10 million. We ended up settling. So people always try to be like, oh, but you settled. No, I didn't. What we settled on was the 3.1 million that the city attorney has to pay the attorney fees for, which my attorneys filed the attorney fees being $4 million that they would have had to, give up. But they're like, man, we're not giving you $4 million. We'll give you 3.1. And that's what my attorneys ultimately settled on. And all combination, between the 10 million and 3.1, it ultimately came out to 3.1 million, which we went 60-40, right?
Between the 10 and the 3.1, and we settled on the 3.1. So you settled for 3.1 million. You won 10, but you took a settlement for 3.1. And you said that was for attorney fees. And y'all did 60-40. I don't know. Whatever though. I mean, anything is a bonus, I guess. But you can't. I think you said you were locked up 10 years. I don't think me personally, I don't think you can put a price tag on losing your freedom for a decade. Having 23 hours in a cell and 1 hour free, I don't think there's a price tag that you could put on it.
So after winning the civil case, within 3 months again, I was sentenced and shot by the SFPD. This man has been shot 16 times in his life, only by the San Francisco Police Department. Within 3 months of either him being released the first time or or 3 months of him testifying in my civil trial. Now, everybody said that this was a conspiracy for me, that the police framed me, right, in general, because you can't believe it, right? Now, obviously, I was able to prove that they did in front of a jury, right? Which I felt this even more, that we should be putting this in front of, a jury for sure and suing the police. But so they shot him. Now this time, yes, they have video cam, right? Which, when you look at the video cam, this happened the day the Warriors won the championship, and I think it was the 2018 championship. Won the championship. Everybody's partying. It's in San Francisco. When you look at the video cam, again, drop gun, right? They got him with it the first time. They knew they'd get him with it the second time, right? So you see the camera. Police are in the car, quietly, not saying a word. The car is silent. Not oh, look at this crew over here. They got a beer. Let's stop them. Nothing. They literally just pulled up, hopped out, and started harassing these 6 Latino guys off of 1 beer, which everybody and their mama got Drake on them, like, in the month of celebrating. And you see Oliver nervous, posturing a little bit. And once they wanted to start jacking him up, he ends up breaking. He runs. So instantly the officer drops his mic or baton or whatever it may be, grabs his gun and starts running while the gun in his hand. And from the body cam, you just see him go like this. Blah, 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 and shooting 8 times. And then it says, he had a gun on him, right? Now, the city was enraged because of this, right? Now, the other video came out from the opposite side, and it showed him reaching for something in his in his crotch area, right? Which happened to be a gun, right? Reaching for something in his crotch area to throw it, right? But before he can even throw it, he's already shot in the back, right? Now, there's no way that this officer knows from that it's a gun that he's grabbing to throw. It could be drugs, it could be anything else. So the officer doesn't see at all what he has right there. So one can say that the officer knew that it was a gun that he was ultimately trying to throw. And once they kill him, they can find the gun and they're gonna be like, oh, he had a gun on him, so we killed him, you know what I mean? Because we're in threat for our life. But Oliver still doesn't die. And they got the officer, and this is where it gets funky. They got the officer talking to another officer on camera still. And he says, yeah, man, it looked like it was a tech. Oh, really? No, it wasn't a tech. What he got confused is the first time they shot him, they found a tech. This one, it was just like a regular gun. It was like a 9 or some shit like that. That's where they fucked up at. He's remembering.
All right, we're done with that. We're gonna give y'all a preview of Kamala Harris week. We just gotta find anybody and everybody talking shit about her. Well, here's Judge Joe Brown, and this one is titled, it's on the same channel I just shared on my wall. Why the fuck does it keep jumping? Hold on, man.
Get you like you had lost your mind.
It's the same channel I just shared on it. Judge Joe Brown is on there. We're gonna be on Art of Dialogue a lot this week.
Skinny black woman around here. In fact, my niece over there are her.
How you feel about Kamala saying that she cleaned her collard greens in a bathtub? You seen that video?
Look at it.
Wait. Kamala Harris said she cleaned her collard greens in the bathtub. Now, black women, it's some black women in the chat. Have you niggas ever cleaned y'all collard greens in a damn tub? I done seen grandma do it in a big ass pot. I done seen grandma do it in the sink. I ain't never seen no niggas clean greens in a tub. She trying too hard to be black. A black person don't have to try this fucking hard. I clean collards in the motherfucking tub. I'm doing photo ops like I'm Hillary Clinton, pouring hot sauce on my food and shit. A black person don't need to do all of this. Why is she pretending to be black if she's actually black?
If you ask any black woman around here, in fact, my niece over there or her homegirl about that, they would look at you like you had lost your mind. You do not wash greens in somebody's bathtub. It's a dormitory bathtub, and just think about it all.
Feet, piss, all types of shit in the dude. Niggas pee in the shower. It's just nasty. The moisture, mold, mildew, just all types of shit. And she talk about she clean her greens in there. Typically a bathtub is in there with a toilet too. Hair, pubic hairs and hairs off your head. It's just too much nastiness to say you cleaning your damn. Why would you bypass the mother? Do you know how many greens that would be in a tub? That's a lot of damn greens. A bathtub full, the double-sided sink is a lot until the motherfuckers cook down. Oh. This is what she said to prove she was black.
Those folk coming in there with skid marks and their panties and tighty whities, and you're gonna wash your greens where they wash their behind. No how, no way. And then the other thing is they smell when you get through cooking them. So you're gonna do this in the dorm? And I mean, why do you need a bathtub? What are you supposed to be, the cook for the whole dorm or something? That's just beyond belief. That's that's just pandering. That's like carrying hot sauce in your purse. Like, I carry hot sauce in my purse. I identify. Not about, okay, that's on the lines of Tupac. You listening to Tupac smoking, and he's 11 years old. You know, that's like, hey. But you know what the deal is with that? There was an instruction that would be delivered to a jury. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you find that the witness has been less than truthful on one subject, you may infer that they have been untruthful on other subjects, and that may tend to impeach their testimony relative to these other elements. Or if you consider the gravity of their misrepresentation of the facts, you may disagree.
That's what they're trying to do to Rudy by having him say he don't recall all that shit, then playing the audio testimony. Then when the judge instructs the jury before they go deliberate, she gonna say it.
Credit everything that they have attempted to tell you, which is that's what you say. You keep lying when we can check you. Are we supposed to believe you when it might be a little bit more difficult? No, you're a lying heifer, and you got yourself out there and you profiled and you tried.
Not a lying heifer.
The style, and it didn't work. We do not believe that you cooked up greens that you washed in somebody's funky bathtub, that your mama would have jumped all over you about it had you even thought about it, and everybody in the dorms would say you funked this place up. So what are you trying to do? Because greens smell after a while. So what are you doing? Come on now. Maybe she's talking about what I just thought of something. Maybe she's talking about one of those big galvanized tubs, So the colored folk are supposed to be squatted down in there with a bath brush, and trying to get the bath while they're doing it, and that's supposed to be the bathtub. But I haven't seen anything like that since I've been about 5 years old visiting some relatives out in the country. That's been 70 plus years ago. So I know she's lying on that too. Like you said,
me personally, Ray, I don't see how you can hear that as a black person and not feel insulted.
Well, you said it. I hear it without being insulted. It's like, come on now, what are you, a dog? Your tail wag, you get treats, greenies, or kibble, or bacon bits, here, roll over, let me scratch your tummy behind the ears, and you wag your tail and you can't really understand what's being said, but the dog whistle getting blown. What's wrong? I mean, it strikes me that black folk need to stop acting so damn colored and Negro-ish. What is going on here? Get some pride. You're being talked down to. You're being insulted. Somebody's sitting there, did you hear what I said about him?
But she's supposed to be the first black woman president. The black people got to stick together. They don't stick together no other motherfucking time. But when it's time to vote for this motherfucker's president, we supposed to all of a sudden do something we ain't never done.
Damn fool didn't even get it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but how do you feel about Trump appearance at the convention in Chicago? You seen that convention they had for black journalists?
He nailed it. And then remember when the idiot that was interviewing him, how can you call her a DEI hire? Well, all over X, within a few hours, they were playing the old tapes of Biden saying, we have to be progressive and these things of diversity, equity, and inclusion demand that I bring in somebody like Kamala Harris to be my vice president. Hell, he said it when he announced the hire. So what's wrong with him saying DEI? How can you say that? And when he said the rest of it, he was square on point. He wasn't lying. And he looked like a fool when you start trying to jump somebody because you go for your propaganda, but you're supposed to be what? A news reporter? And you don't have anything better than that, and your knowledge of what's going on and the facts are so, I guess they have little bird wings or butterfly wings and they fly off and can't pluck them out of the air. So you look like a fool. Trump, I thought, handled himself pretty well in there. I liked it. I laughed. Yeah, it's like, don't you realize you got embarrassed and you have no shame to realize it? It's crazy.
What you think about them giving Trump pushback for his comments? Him saying that, Kamala, she wasn't clicking her black side until a couple of years ago.
Put it this way, I probably have more black credentials than anybody that was on that damn thing, and I'd do the same thing that Trump did. Like, wait a minute, I ain't this stupid. It's like whatever she is, she's sitting there claiming, I've been listening to her for 20-some years. I was in California. She was claiming fame to be an Indian. Now, all of a sudden, she's black. She had never been mentioning no Indian except get us some D from, I guess she was getting her DNA notes from Willie and Montel, but I mean, it is what it is. You got to get your flow going, but what are you? See.
So you knowing Kamala before people knew who she was, and you don't recall her ever pushing her black side, ever?
No, what black side? I mean, what black side? And I find it disingenuous. You get all of these apologists who talk about, yeah, she has slaveholders in her background, but it was probably because one of her black ancestors, a woman, got raped. No, that is not what happened in this case. It is directly on the white side, coming straight down, and as her daddy says often, he's Irish and he is Indian. So where do you get it?
Irish and Indian. That's the daddy's heritage. Traced to his great-great-granddaddy, which he wrote about in a book that his grandma told him about. His dad is Jamaican because that's where the fuck he was born, but he's Indian and Irish. There are brown-skinned Indians. Most Indians are brown-skinned with the red dot. Most of them are. Harold and Kumar them.
Now, last I checked, I got the rule. You get somebody that's black and they're mixed with somebody French. Are they French or are they black? Black? Yeah. You get somebody black mixed with somebody from China. Are they Chinese? No, they're black. If you get somebody black mixed with somebody German, what do they call them in this country? Black. Okay? The white folk don't even say, oh, that's another German or that's another Irish person, they're black. Now, when the Indians call you Indian and have celebrating festivals saying the first one of us to become so-and-so, that kind of makes the case right there. Because even then, they would be calling you, guess what? If you had that in you, they are not going to adopt you. Nobody wants to adopt us. Except this one new thing, there's a new ethnic group you can adopt. It's just instead of black, it's rainbow. But I mean, they're looking for new recruits. But yeah, I think that's the rule. So the thing that gets me is black, white, brown, red, yellow. It doesn't make any difference. Catholic, Episcopalian, Baptist, Methodist, Hindu, Buddhist, Islamic, Jewish, it doesn't make any difference. This woman has absolutely no connection with American history. People were accusing her of being an anchor baby. She is not an anchor baby. She is the new migrant herself. Now, there are stories around about whether she spent some time in America or whether she spent most of it in Canada. But I know the yearbook she put out says K through 12 up there. And irrespective of that, the bottom line is she's part of the British Commonwealth, because that's India, Pakistan, that is used to be Hong Kong, Singapore, it used to be Australia, New Zealand, Fiji Island stuff, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, you name it. You don't need an extra passport, you just go in there. So her connection is with the British Empire, the English Commonwealth, the UK, and she has no connection, no ancestors, not one of any race, any ethnicity with a connection to the United States of America. And I'm sorry, that's too much nudity. You're just coming in and quiet as kept, you're not watching your step, you're trying to sneak. And that is not righteous to me. All of the black folk, brown folk, yellow folk, red folk, white folk that have died setting this country up to get where it is, for her to come in, sneak in and be, into the mix on a loophole and become chief executive of the United States just smells to high heavens to me. And what is the loophole? Well, technically, if you are born on American soil, and it appears she was in San Francisco, the Bay Area, whatever you may call it, and you live here 14 years, you're eligible to run for president. Now, that's all well and good, but it's not like her parents were trying to migrate here. They just had academic visas for a limited period of time. They were going to school in the Bay Area. This is 1964, 63, and she got conceived and she got dropped off and quickly taken away. Her sister was born in 1967. She was born in 1964. My ex-wife was born in the same hospital. My late former mother-in-law worked as a pediatrics nurse in that same hospital, and she just happened to be dropped off on a technicality. So now, years later, she's running for United States president. That is in the 235-year history of the United States of America, from the point where the Constitution was ratified in 1789 to now. That is the least connected any candidate has been with the United States of America when it comes to ancestors. And then we don't have her having won one single primary, not one. And we don't even have her selected at an open convention. What in the devil's going on? Something.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, to the next episode. It's Kamala Harris week. Fuck it. We out. So cold, but I'm so hot.
Dope boys with them knives.
The game so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. The game so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. That Nate Graham headed straight to the block. Pirates this water while it's hot. Listen double up, turn a little to a lot. Right hand on the cell phone, take an order. Left hand 360 motor to a lot. Blue holler tips, got switches on the dot. State game, true sippers can't be stopped. Laughing at you haters while I'm thumbing through the paper. Says long at the bottom, won't you meet me at the top? The nigga ain't shit, yeah, get that a lot. Won't be deterred and I won't be stopped. Shaq Diesel number one, I post up on the block. 24/7 cause the hustle don't stop. 31 flavor, take an order like a waiter. I be selling more gas than a local truck stop. 1,200 strong for a pound to the top. Got me shining, I'm a star. Ask about me, I am legend. They gon' tell you who we are. Fuck these niggas, fuck these bitches. Get money, all I know. No love for these bitches. Never saving these hoes. The game so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. The game so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Dope boy fresh with dope boy not. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy fresh with dope boy not.
When I'm thinking about Pass, yeah, gon' get some knots, gang, we at the spot. If we ever was short, then it's back to the block, you probably get shot. Every day's a sudden change, we getting money, that's one thing that's never gon' stop. Real dope boys do what it takes, playing high stakes, living to die. Do your time, keep it quiet, no matter who you are, don't get what you got. Stack it up, that's the bond to stay fresh. Oh, they think that you're not. Take a roll with a hoe, they gon' let you go. Somebody's gonna say you ain't hot. Just invest in yourself, don't worry about nobody else. There ain't no handout. If you say the same, put it on the chain. Let them see you ain't tied down. Got a couple rings, did a lot of things. I ain't really gon' talk about it. Give me a trade, get you go. She gon' show up and show out. So don't ask me what a dope at, cause you already around.
The game's so cold, but I'm so hot. Same old shit, still on the block. Same young nigga came up in the trap. I'm dope boy, fresh with dope boy, not